Good morning, everyone. Welcome to G3 this year. I will be your facilitator, Mr. Gauntz. I'll be pushing out the information that you'll be required to work on. So this year I wanted to start off with a joke because it's always good to start with a joke. So how do you eat an elephant? That's the question. Of course, the answer, as you can see on the screen, is one bite at a time. Funny story. Mr. Matthews told me yesterday that in Africa, and this is what Mr. Matthews said, I haven't verified it yet, but I believe the guy. He's pretty reliable. Mr. Matthews said that in Africa, when he was younger, you could buy canned elephant. So now you know what the answer is. You may ask, why the joke? Well, I think humor is a great way to start each day or class, etc., whatever you have. If you have a joke, kind of puts everybody in a little bit better mood. And I had a conversation the other day with a friend who said this to me. He was looking at starting a new career, and he's in his mid-40s. And he said, I just look at it like the old saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And I was like, what a great comment. What a great theme for G3. The theme for G3, of course, is, the title is Goals, Growth, and Grit. So if you think of it in the terms of an elephant, how do we set a goal of tackling something as big as eating an elephant? How do we develop the mindset that we can learn new things that allow us to meet new challenges, like you've never eaten an elephant before? And how do we develop skills to allow us to persevere when the challenge seems too big? All of these things apply to eating an elephant, and they also apply to anything you want to challenge or tackle in life. All right, I mentioned my joke. I'm going to give you the title of the course, Goals, Growth, and Grit. Skills for Success. This is the official name of the course. What is G3? G3, as I said, Goals, Growth, and Grit. It's a 4-year course that you'll do each year of high school if you're in grade 9, if you're in grade 10, 11, or 12, you've already done the grade 9 part or the whatever. Twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays between second period and third period. So you'll know to go back to your G3 teacher. And what are we working on? Well, the main goals are goal setting and reevaluating those goals, which we're going to look at basically each semester. We're going to talk about understanding and developing a growth mindset, developing strategies for perseverance. We'll talk about stress, how to deal with stress, study habits. We'll talk about scholarships for grade 12 students and other lifetime questions you may have. We will cover those as we work through the course over these 4 years. So I put this page in here. The question always is, why do we need this class? Why do we have to do this? I have these skills. So basically we recognize, and you can read the blurb on here, I'm just going to paraphrase, but we recognize that even the best students need some of these skills enhanced, whether it's time management, whether it's perseverance, whether it's a growth mindset, setting goals that are like reasonable goals, and thinking about how everything fits together. And so we're gonna, it's a life role course that we're gonna do over twice a week for 4 years or whatever stage you're in this course. And we thought this was a great way for you to enhance these skills that'll carry you into life and teach you how to deal with change as you maneuver the changes in life. So again, this slideshow is designed for all 4 grades. If you're in grade 9, this is your first G3. If you're in grade 10, 11, 12, of course, you have experience. And you have a preconceived mindset, and some things are the same. We're going to use PowerPoint slideshows to do presentations. Sometimes I'll be down here in the bottom right corner talking, and sometimes I won't. Sometimes it'll be a voice. Sometimes it'll just be instructions that your teacher reads to you. We'll also have videos, YouTube videos, TED Talks, that kind of thing that fit the topic that we're learning. We'll also maybe occasionally have online worksheets, online assessments, so like quizzes to complete. So I might put a video that you need to watch and ask you some questions about it. So that's the reason we put the video we'll be putting the video up for you to view later, or the presentation. And occasionally we'll have surveys. So, maybe time management, for example, and we'll ask you some questions about what you do for time management, and then take that information from the survey and use it to try to develop a lesson that makes the most sense for you, depending on the grade level or where you're at in your studies. So those are the presentation methods we'll be presenting to you or we'll be using this semester. In order to get all of our material in one place that's easy to maintain over the 1, 2, 3, or 4 years that you will be in this, we've chosen D2L Brightspace for hosting our materials. The reason we chose this, it's a lot easier to put quizzes on there, which you'll be doing from time to time on different topics. Allow us a place to post notes, presentations. So all of those, for those of you in grade 9, everything will be new. Everything in grade 10, 11, 12. You've seen the PowerPoints and then they're all somewhere, but you never see them again. So we're gonna post the PowerPoints, host them on D2L Brightspace. For those of you that have used it before, the transition will be easy. Everything will be in the content. For those of you that are new to D2L Brightspace, teachers and students, there will be videos coming forward to show you how to use them, and then the videos will be placed on D2L, but you'll be able to find them easily. And if you're not sure how to do certain things, you can refer to one of the teachers around you that use D2L, or you can find me to help sort your way out of D2L. And it'll just allow for a more streamlined presentation of the material. So rather than having a book that you have to carry and keep in a room or whatever, all the materials, like I said, notes, presentations, YouTube links, quizzes, surveys, assignments, portfolios, all the stuff that we're going to do over the span of your time in G3 will all be hosted from this one spot. So as I mentioned in the previous slide, all of our information will be posted and hosted, on D2L. Instructional videos will be sent out for staff and students on how to navigate to the different parts of it. We probably will practice that a little bit. All of the assignments, quizzes, portfolio submissions, etc., all those things that we're looking to do, and the expectation is we will submit them online. This doesn't mean you need to bring a computer to class every day. We're not going to be doing work every day. Teachers will still host presentations from their computer. They'll plug it in. They'll play the sounds just like it's happening right now while we're watching this. But we wanted a place that students could go back and refer. So if you've seen a nice, a cool idea, or you want to look at time management ideas, or you like that YouTube video that we showed, but you don't know what to search, these will all be hosted in D2L. And so make it a lot easier to see these, put all these things together as the years go on, to do your assignments that we will be assigning to you on a somewhat regular basis, and any quizzes we have to do, etc. So it's a new school year. You've watched through all the slides. Some people have asked for a little bit of time. There's a bunch of paperwork that need to be done today. So I didn't want to make a presentation that was too long. I want to keep it shorter, give you a little bit of time to chat with your G3 teachers, lockers, paperwork, all that stuff. For the grade 9s, a chance to just chat with your grade 9 G3 teacher or anybody that's new. Some of you have new teachers taking over, teachers have retired or they're off for this year, whatever the case may be. So that's the reason this is not a long video. However, I wanted you to ponder a few things before we get too far into this. And I always, personally, I call them like a New Year's resolution, but a new school year's resolution, something I want to work on. So because I'm the G3 guy, I'm going to try to get a little bit more precise with this. So what I want you to do before next class, but we may not get to it right away, but I want you to reflect upon some goals you've set for yourself last year, whether it's a personal goal of some form to get better at playing an instrument, or maybe you want to learn work on saving money. Maybe you want to learn how to code or do computer coding. Maybe it's an academic goal. So I want you to think about what kind of goal you have for yourself this year. Like think of an academic goal and think about a personal goal. We'll be talking about goal setting. So for those of you in grade 12, you've seen goal setting for a few years now. This year, you get to actually write a goal out. And in the past, all this stuff was, put it in your binder. We are now going to expect you to submit these. So the videos that I talked about in the previous slides, how to submit them. You're going to write out a goal. You can type it up and submit it as a Word document, or maybe you take a picture of it, but you'll be expected to do some submissions of some materials. So there will be some work to do that you haven't done in the past. The last part I'm going to leave you with today is study habits. Now, I want you to think about your study habits. So if you're in grade 9, you may have some study habits, you may not. If you're in grade 10, 11, or 12, you've watched some presentations upon study habits. Some of them worked in the past. You may have new courses that are more rigorous and need to develop different study habits, or maybe you've never had study habits. So what I want you to think about before, not right away, but in the near future, is the following questions: the who, what, where, when, why, and how. I want you to think about who you study with, if you study with anyone. Some people like to study with others, some people don't. What you're studying, what you think is important, what isn't important, how to decipher that. Where you study, so where are you at when you study? When do you study? What time of day? When do you study in relation to a test or a lab, or sorry, not a lab, but an exam? Why do you study? What reason do you have to study? And how do you study? And if you put those all together, you can figure out what works best for you. We're going to talk about study habits later, but not too much in the near future. I'm going to put a survey in Brightspace once we've accomplished the Brightspace stuff, so that I can tailor the lessons to what you need to learn. So think about your goals and think about your study habits. Get your paperwork in. Please bring in all the paperwork that's been assigned. They call the RTIPA form is important. It needs to be filled out. The information form needs to go home and be signed. Make sure your parents have seen it, or your guardians, so that all information is current. It's difficult if we need to get a hold of you as a teacher and the information is incorrect. So those are important forms to have done. And I didn't mention this in the previous slides, but a lot of the stuff can be done on your phone. So when we're doing these assignments and assessments, you may need to have some kind of device. And if you don't have a device, it's okay. Talk to your teacher and we can figure out how to work around it. So until next Tuesday, I hope you have a good rest of the week, and we'll see you then. Thanks.